Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and in today's video, I want to do a playthrough of Morgan Le Fay's Pestilence event before it ends with the hero Asgardians. Now, I have them built up fairly high, for the most part, and I want to do a test run of what it feels like to use them in a Scourge event. Unfortunately, this is the best we have, so I'm going to use them on nodes 1 and 2 of Pestilence, but as far as difficulty goes, and I want to make this very, very clear, that the difference between, and some of you guys may have noticed this already, just going from Famine back to Pestilence again, that the difference is quite stark. So, for example, difficulty 8, which a lot of people are running right now, is very, very hard. Just to enter it, just without any Scourges. You can see that the enemies are about 200, anywhere from 220 to like 265k. It's pretty bonkers. Now, if you go back to like this video that I did of Famine, this was difficulty 8 in Famine, and you can see that the enemies have like 170k. 150, 140, 170k. So it's a huge, and they're G15 by the way. And so it's a huge, huge difference to the stats and the values of these. This is 7 yellow, 6 red, 260k Lady Deathstrike, and the other ones was, well, the same stars apparently, but like a huge difference in stats, like almost 100k in some cases. This represents probably at least a good 50 to 60% increased stats in difficulty 8 of Pestilence. So that tells me that it's very, very hard in comparison, which is why, so many people were running higher difficulties in Famine. Difficulties 9 and 10. In some cases, I ran difficulty 8 with high Scourges, but DE8 in Pestilence is also, nothing to scoff at, because it's pretty hard. So we're not going to be testing on D8 for Heroes Guardians, because it's not equivalent, in my opinion. So we're actually going to go back to, we're going to try one run on D7, and even then, I'm thinking more that we need to be on D6. Because if you look at the stats, I want something that's equivalent. Now, this is about 100k, so it's a bit kind of low compared to the Famine numbers. So probably D7 would be the most accurate. Now, of course, these nodes are not going to be tailored to Hero Asgardians as the War Scourge nodes 5 and 10 would be, presumably. And we're not going to be running any Scourges. I just kind of want to see, how well do they perform. These numbers look a bit more accurate. 166 Late Deathstrike to like, I don't know, 170. So, the average looks a bit more like that. So it's one back. So we're going to do this. And we're going to be running my Hero Asgardians team. Now, these are my, I had Hulk in there. So I was wondering, like, am I going to use the full Asgardian team? I could start off with that, but frankly, my Heimdall's probably going to get his shit wrecked in. He's only 75, level 75, 95k. And so I don't really want to do that, but what I was thinking of, and maybe I'll just bring Hulk back, because I think that's probably the better option here, because he is a wave 1, and he's also going to trigger the charges actually off of Thor. Now, my only issue is, like, is he going to stay alive? I don't know, and probably not in Pestilence, but we'll see. So I need to go find him again. I did give him the healer ISO, though, so that might help a little bit. Maybe I should have just... there we go. So he's 120k. He's level 75. He's not super, super high. Maybe I might, if I want to use him as the 5th member, maybe I might actually put more gold into him for his levels. He has healer ISO. Nobody else is healer ISO, though. I have Fortifier on Sif. I have Striker on Valkyrie, Raider, and then Skirmisher. I'm wondering, because, they passively heal, not having Heimdall means they're getting 5% less on turn healing. And I'm wondering if someone else, maybe like when I run the actual Scourge event for War, if somebody else needs to be a healer to compensate as well. Whoever has the highest hit points, maybe. Or is faster, which is not going to be Thor. It's probably going to maybe Valkyrie, but I mean, I think she's a really good striker, though. So we're just going to go like this to start. And I just want to see how hard these nodes are. Can we even clear a node? And can we even clear one full node? Because that would be a great understanding of, what it's going to be like in the War Scourge event, I think, personally. And how they synergize together. They have really high stats, and I'll say right now, because I've used them in other modes, I think that OG Thor will be leaning on him a lot to trigger his passive. Because that's where a lot of it's going to come from, right? So, getting as many charges on OG Thor as possible without obviously getting our shit kicked in. Will be helpful. So I'm going to start actually just by using the ult, because I want to, flip these buffs. I don't want Lady Deathstrike to have the offense up. But then you get this, and maybe I should have waited actually, now that I think about it. And of course, RNG is a huge factor. Valkyrie is like almost dead, and I don't want her to die, even though that's part of her mechanics. And now I'm wondering where to start. Maybe over here with a hammer throw. That did a lot of damage actually. And we get an AoE. Oh wow, if only we had some sort of drain mechanic, and then boom, Valkyrie's dead already and everyone gets their buffs. So that's not what I want to happen, and so I have a feeling that this is going to be some RNG, in this War Scourge. It's going to be worse, maybe, than the Web Warriors were. You know, Web Warriors had RNG when it came to dodging, and I think this might be just like getting the hits in the right place. And the problem is that Sif is not super fast, so I want somebody to get their taunt off, whether it's Hulk or whether it's Sif, right? Because the others can't really take hits as well, and getting to that point is tough. Like, why won't they hit my Sif? They're hitting Hulk though, for what it's worth, and he's gonna get that. And I don't know. I'm still wow. Hulk just got obliterated, right? And then so like I guess I could taunt, but that's like not what I want. You know, and so maybe this is just a really challenging node, and this is not the best. And you know, at least Thor's passive hits really hard. And maybe this just isn't the best place to test it. That's true too. But you know, this makes me scared that like if the node has a certain type of enemies on it, that maybe it just won't work very well with Hero Asgardians, or we'll just need to burn it, do a burner team, right? You know, like, which is pretty common in Scourges more generally. And I guess in this instance, it would be you have other Wave 1 characters and Ravager characters to be able to do that. And, you know, I could put T'Challa in Hulk's spot, but I don't know if that would make a huge difference. I think this combination of Lady Deathstrike and Silver Samurai is just huge. It's really, really bad, actually. And so what's interesting is, for whatever reason, I'm not sure how that happened, but now I can flip all of those. So that's nice, I guess. But now Thor is stunned, and so, you know, it's a bit of a challenge there. We can, however, taunt for what it's worth, because I want the taunt. And then everyone else is, like, almost dead. Crazy. You know, like, how much harder the Pestilence event probably is going to be over the Famine event. And, like, that right there almost, like, killed the whole wave. You know, that Thor passive. But now Valkyrie's dead, I guess? I didn't even see it. It went by so fast. So, this is really, really tough. So let's try something else. Let's test this as if we were, you know, burning a node, which is quite common. So I'm gonna go in with like some random scrub characters. I'm gonna burn some initial cooldowns, and then I'm gonna go in with the real team. So I'm gonna make sure I save this so I can find it a lot easier. I'm gonna save this, and then I'm just gonna like throw in some weaker characters so they die a little bit quicker. Whoever's like on my lower rung here, we'll just throw in some random characters, and hopefully we can like get a few things killed, or a few abilities, like Lady Deathstrike special. That would help. And I kind of want to save the Merc Lieutenant special. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe. We'll see. Phyla-Vell special. Maybe. Oh. Can't even stun him. It's not a big deal. I'm surprised my characters are all fast. Okay. That's fine. That's yeah, okay, well, that's okay. So now we'll bring in the real team. And, you know, like, maybe that's what you're gonna have to do. I'm a little bit... Again, I don't want to, like, say that this is what's going to happen in war, because Pestilence is very, very hard. The event is very, very hard. The nodes were hard. The enemies hit way harder than they should have compared to Famine. You know, Famine was scaled. The scaling of Pestilence was really, really bad. Whereas the scaling for Famine was a lot better. I actually had quite an... I wouldn't say an easy time, but it wasn't as... it wasn't as a pain of an ass. Pain in the ass. You know, I did 3 runs for Famine, and that was it, and that got me a 6-star, and I was happy with that. I spent way more screen time on Pestilence than I did. So, oh, the ultimate was loaded. Oh, shit. Oh my god, maybe I made it worse. Lady Deathstrike is just such a powerful character. Even without her offense up, like, wow. Like, this is just a terrible node. But again, like, even if I had Heimdall in that spot, it would do absolutely nothing. Because all Heimdall does is block blind outside of war defense. A lot of his kit is war defense. He cleanses, but I mean, he's not even going to take a turn here because he's not built up high enough. And I don't want to, because of, like, how... Yeah, my Valkyrie, just without a defense up, she can't survive. I honestly can't believe that she's that squishy. I took her to Gear Tier 15 the other day. For this event, for the Ride of the Valkyrie event, to make it easier for Blitz, but also for the War Scourge. And I'm in utter shock how low does it say? Asgardians. How much hit points do I have? 422k, and I'm at 4-4. G15 level 85. I really can't go much higher than this, except for getting that 5th star filled in. So I really hope that the War Scourge event is significantly easier, because this is probably the best test of character for this team or for this lineup. Putting in Iron Man instead of Hulk is not going to do anything either. Fuck all. Maybe I'll just lose Mighty Thor instead. Maybe I'll survive. They might bleed out, though. Oh my god, it was so close. Jesus. And so this is really concerning, actually, for me. We actually finally got to a skill for Valkyrie and get all those buffs. See, that's what I mean. It's like, you need to survive long enough to get to these buffs. But they're so fucking slow. And so getting there is, like, almost near impossible. And now I'm stuck behind Silver Samurai, who's also a bit of a pain in the ass. Looks like they're bugged out here. They're all stuck together. We got, like, a Hulk attack and a taunt. Alright, my game's, like, lagging to shit, apparently. And, you know what? Character has charged. Oh, he has charged. Yeah, he does have charged. That didn't do a lot of damage. But we got a Thor passive, and he had offense up, and so that did a shit ton of damage. And that's what I'm thinking we have to do, is we have to manipulate. Oh, we activated the yo-yo passive. God damn it. And I think that's part of what we're gonna have to do in these events is manipulate the charges. You know, I don't know, like, try to do it the best way we can. Thor is so powerful. OG Thor is super powerful, but as far as the healing goes, now on this node there's heal block. I really hope that in the actual War Scourge there isn't heal block, because that is perhaps going to make you have to use Heimdall, who is a terrible character. But Thor just smacks so hard with his passive that that's where the bulk of the damage is going to come from. I just wanted to heal. But as far as getting everyone out, and Hulk heals pretty well actually there now, I think he might make a good 5th. But, like, look at my other characters. Because of the heal block, I haven't been able to really get my health back. And, you know, Thor carried this entire match. Right? Thor carried this entire thing. And I'll actually, like, give the second node a try. Like, I don't know if I can do that either without burning it, because I think it was designed to be... I think this was designed to have Eternals in here, and, like, the node design was, like, you know, really hard. That you wanted to use, like, Young Avengers or Eternals or something like that. So I'll run these guys, but, like, look, my health is pretty rough. And so I really hope that War is more scaled down to Famine's level. Otherwise, this is going to be a super, super big challenge. And I'm not exactly sure how they're going to make it through. Their sustain is not... It's not reliable. There's no healing. There's no actual active healing. You know, so there's nothing reliable. And that sucks, right? I mean, I guess I got the passive off, but I had offense down. So that wasn't super fun. And, like, Ebony Maw's debuffs, yeah, that's gonna suck too, right? And because everyone's slow! And I'm dead. Wow! So there's nothing I can do about that, actually. I think we might... I don't know if we can do this. And so part of the problem is that the Hero Asgardians are super slow. They're the last one, more or less, they're the last ones to take their turn. And honestly, it's really surprising. And I think that's going to be the biggest crutch, because unless we're faced off against super, super slow enemies, I don't know how we're going to beat the levels. Or how we're going to be able to... You're absolutely going to need a burner team to blow cooldowns, because you're not going to go before they will. In almost no way, unless there's major RNG or something, you're not going to go before anyone else. Hulk was the first one to go. Oh, but he got knocked down on his health. Yeah, so everyone's dying. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah, see, there's nothing I can do with this one. So, I don't know. It's going to depend on the arrangement of enemies. You know, because... And I'm wondering if that Valkyrie mechanic of dying and getting those buffs, is that going to matter? Because I really hope not. I really hope not that it's not going to be designed for you to want to have to, like, be an RNG fiesta in terms of triggering Asgardian deaths with Valkyrie on the field. Otherwise, that's going to be a really shit mechanic, and this is going to be the worst Scourge ever coming up. And I don't think that using a hybrid team of Wave 1 Avengers, the only other thing that might do it would be the Ravagers. The Ravagers actually have really good sustain. They actually have some healing with Ravager Stitcher, and they have turn bar rewind with with Ravager Boomer, who you get to summon as well with Yondu. And I'm actually really scared that Ravagers might be the team to do this. I have T'Challa and Yondu built, but I do not have the other 3 built up. So I'm actually kind of scared that this might be the case. And we know that, you know, as the newest characters, Hero Asgardians, if it's not them, then a lot of people are going to be really scared and mad and all the above, because I don't know what we're going to need at this point. Based on running this, I'm not super enthused about the Hero Asgardians and about their ability to survive in a node. And whether or not we're going to have to be doing an RNG fiesta with resetting the nodes or getting buffs from Valkyrie and such and letting people die, which is not something we want to do on a Scourge typically, because we get punished for doing that with different Scourges, right? And then, you know, even on this run, sorry, even on Pestilence, you know, there are Scourges that say, like, when you die, I forget where they are, which one they are, gloating. You know, there's a few of them that have to, you know, you don't want to die. That's just the thing, right? And so I'm scared. I'm scared for what might happen. If it's a lot easier, if the enemies are a lot easier like Famine, then maybe it won't be so bad. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think that's going to happen for War? Are you building Hero Asgardians? Are you building Ravagers? Or do you have Ravagers already? What is your plan? I think I'm going to still stay the course with Hero Asgardians minus Heimdall, but I'm still cautious and I'm still a little bit afraid. That's the end of this video, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.